It's time for my February wrap-up. Let's talk about all the books I read this month. Hello my friends, welcome to my channel. Welcome to this week's book chat. This week we are going to be chatting about all the books I read in February. Let's get right into my wrap-up. Okay, so February is of course the shortest month of the year, and I went through a couple mini reading slumps, so because of that I read 6 books in February. So let's talk about them. We are going to be going in the order in which I read the books. I'll tell you a quick synopsis of the books, my thought on the books, my rating, do I recommend it. We'll move on to the next one. So grab your drinks. I have mine. We have water. We have caffeine, Dr. Pepper, of course. Grab a snack if you need it, and let's get book chatting. My head's starting to hurt, so we need this right away. The first book I read in February was Leather and Lark by Bryn Weaver. This is book number 2 in the Ruinous Love trilogy. Book number 1 is Butcher and Blackbird. This is a dark romance. It is a serial killer romance, and it is quite a spicy book. This book follows our 2 main characters. We have Lark. She is our female main character. She is a singer-songwriter, but she also does a bunch of miscellaneous little jobs for the one she loves, and she has a secret of her own. We're also following Lachlan, who is our male main character. He is a leather worker, but he's also a contract killer, something he wishes he wasn't anymore, but he owes the man in which he works for. They end up having to agree to a marriage of convenience, basically a marriage that's going to save the ones they love, even though they dislike each other. So they are enemies at the beginning, but they slowly become friends, and they slowly become a little bit more. But on top of that all, there's someone in the background who has it out for them. I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was a great follow-up to book 1. I do think you should read book 1 before you read book 2. You could read book 2 by itself, but I think you would get a better experience if you read book 1 first. There's definitely some connected storylines between the series. Romance in this book was definitely a slow burn, which I really, really enjoyed. And once you started getting some scenes, they built up over time. It wasn't just like bam, right into it. So I really loved that. But throughout the way, you did get to see them start to enjoy and care about each other and get to know each other, so it wasn't kind of out of nowhere. They really had it in for the long haul. This book moved along fast and it did not drag at all. There were some spicy scenes in the later half of the book, so I give it about a 3 out of 5 for spice, but there weren't too many spicy scenes at all. And I really enjoyed this book. I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5 stars, and I definitely do recommend it, especially if you like dark romance or romance in general. And if you're looking to get into dark romance, I think this trilogy is a great way to do it. There is a 3rd book in the trilogy. It is Scythe and Sparrow. I have not read that one yet, but the first 2 are a really great way to get into dark romance. The next book I read was 7-Year Itch by Amy Dawes. This is again the 2nd in a series. This is the Mountain Men Matchmaker series. Book number 1 was 9-Month Contract. This book, This book is dual point of view. This book is also dual point of view, so you get the point of view of the male and the female main characters. Our male main character is the brother of the main character from book number 1. They live up on a mountain, and he is basically a mountain man who works as a construction worker for their father's company, and he is looking for a date for his brother's wedding, and he can't find one, so he ends up having to share a room with a woman he hates, our female main character, who is his sister-in-law's best friend, Dakota. Oh, the male main character's name is Calder, by the way. Dakota is recently divorced, and she is trying to find her confidence again. She and Calder know each other from the past, but they do not like each other because they had a bit of a disagreement on a construction site. Basically, her house. She thinks he ruined it. He doesn't think he ruined it, but they do not like each other. They end up having to share a palapa, and they go from arguing to yelling in a different way. After the wedding, everything was supposed to go back to normal, but Dakota shows up on Calder's doorstep and asks for his help regaining her pre-divorce confidence. He agrees because honestly, he can't stay away from her, and they go on this mission to help her find her confidence. And I loved this book. It was quite spicy, but it was really, really fun, and it had me giggling, which I enjoyed, and I thought it was a really fun read. It definitely is an interconnected series, so I would read the first one in this series first. This book is very much Grumpy Sunshine. It is an enemies to lovers trope, which we very much enjoy, and he falls first, he falls hard. It was quite spicy. I give it like 4 out of 5 peppers for spice because it was quite a spicy book. I really loved Milkshake the cat. I mean, how could you not love Milkshake? And yeah, only downside for this book was I I did not love our female main character. She had some actions that she did that she never really took accountability for, and I did not love that. But I did love her trying to find her confidence again, and I loved her accepting like her new body as a grown woman, and I thought that was a really fun adventure, really fun journey to go on with her, and I really liked it. I ended up giving this book a 3 out of 5 stars just because some of the scenarios annoyed me a little bit, but I did really think it was fun. I thought it was a great follow up to book number 1, and I do plan to continue the series and see where it goes. There's 2 more books in this series, so I'm really excited to read them. Next up, I read my first 5-star of the year, and that was We Who Will Die by Stasia Stark. This is a Roman-inspired romantic fantasy novel. It follows our female main character. She is looking out for her brother, and she is a human. In this world, let me tell you, in this world there are humans, there are sigil marked, which are humans that have a little bit of power, and then there are vampires. So our female main character, she is a human and mundane, so she has no powers. She is looking out for her brothers. She ends up having to make a bargain with a vampire in order to save one of her brother's lives. She has to go and win these trials, and then she has to kill the emperor. Yep, she makes a bargain with a vampire to kill the emperor, which we all know what bargains with vampires mean, right? Right? But she does it because she has to do it in order to save her brothers, and she ends up going to the kingdom and competing in these trials, and she makes friends there, she makes enemies there, she meets people that she knows from the past there, there's romance, and it's really, really, really good. I ended up loving this book. Since it's set in the Roman times, they all really are just focused on survival as their first primary instinct, and I really like that because they're all just looking out for themselves, and I just think that is so good, and I really, really enjoyed it. I loved all the characters in this book, and I loved that there was like a light love triangle. I really enjoyed all the twists in this book, and there were a lot of twists in this book, and a lot of them I did not expect. This book moves really, really fast. Occasionally it moved a little bit too fast, but other than that, it really gripped you and it kept you enthralled and engaged. There were a lot of fun creatures, there's so much politics, and there's a lot of like found family and friendship. It was a really, really entertaining book. I feel like you definitely have to pay attention in the beginning. If you pay attention in the beginning, you will understand what's going on. I feel like some people, I've seen some reviews where they were confused and they were like, they didn't tell us any of this was happening. They tell you all this kind of stuff. They give you all these insights. It's just at the beginning of the book. So you need to pay attention and read the beginning because then you will understand what's going on throughout. And I really, really enjoyed it. So I ended up giving this book a 5 stars. I loved it. It is the first in the series, so I cannot wait to read the next one in the series. It's obviously not out yet because this one just came out, but I was a very, very, very big fan, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Yes, I recommend it. If you like fantasy romantasy books, I say you should give this series a try because I really, really enjoyed it. Moving on to my next read, it is a romance novel, and that is Fake Skating by Lynn Painter. This is actually a young adult romance novel. This book is also dual point of views. It follows Danny, our female main character. Her parents recently got divorced, and she is moving back to her mom's hometown, and she's hoping to reconnect with a childhood friend that she hasn't seen in 5 years. Our main male character, that childhood friend, Alec, he is now a hockey star, and he is very popular. He has a whole bunch of friends, and he is upset with Danny over something that happened 5 years ago that we do not know about. When she gets there, she is very shy and different than the girl that he remembers, and he's still upset about things that happened, so he kind of ends up avoiding her for a little bit. But one thing leads to another, and they end up having to fake date, so fake skating, fake dates, in order to help him clean up his hockey career and help him with college and help her with college as well, so it is mutually beneficial. And then we all know that one thing leads to another, and they start to develop feelings for each other. So I absolutely love Lynn Painter. That's something that I need to put out there, but I love this book. It had me giggling from the start. From the first page, I was hooked. I was like, yep, I'm gonna love this, and I did. I loved this. The banter is there, the relationship building and their connection is there. I love that they are childhood friends. Now they're finding their way back to each other. I think that's really sweet. The yearning between these characters because of that was just, it was just so good, and I was just absolutely obsessed with it. There was one moment in this book that I didn't absolutely love the storyline, but it tied up okay in the end, so I understood it. But I really, really ended up loving this book. I loved the friends to maybe a little bit more than friends. I loved the second chance romance, and I just loved the banter. Both characters were going through a lot, but it wasn't too heavy or too traumatic. It was young adults, so it's more of a light situations that they're going through. And I think this is the perfect winter fluffy romance read. I ended up rating it 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really, really enjoyed it, and I absolutely recommend it. If you like romance, if you like fluffy romance, give it a read. It is young adult, so there's no spice in it. It's like 1 out of 5 peppers, no spice, but yeah, very, very good. Absolutely loved it. The next book I read, I do not have because I had borrowed it from my sister-in-law and I gave it back, but it is, I'm going to put it right here. It is The Mad Wife by Megan Church. This is a women's fiction psychological thriller book, and it follows our female main character, Lucy, or Lulu. She recently had her first child, and now she's pregnant with her second child, and she went through a lot after she had her first child, but she's prepared for her second child now. However, a new neighbor moves in across the street, and she becomes a little bit suspicious of them, and she starts to lose her grasp on reality, and then she starts to wonder if the neighbors are suspicious or maybe something's wrong with her. And it was just such a good book. I absolutely loved it. It covers so many different important topics. It's set in 1950. She's a 1950s housewife. I should have said that. So keep in mind that she's a 1950s housewife and she is trying her best to be the perfect 1950s housewife, okay? You know how you had to be perfect for your husband, perfect with the kids, perfect dinner on the table when husband gets home from work, all of that. Picture that. That is what Lulu was trying to be. And I just really love this book. It covered so many different important topics and it covered a lot of different things with psychology, which, as someone with a psychology background, I found that so interesting and so important. And I thought it was such a fast read. I think the writing was just so good that it just kind of gripped you and you just kept reading more and more and more. And you couldn't really put it down considering it was just like a woman's fiction book. It wasn't like anything crazy was happening, but you couldn't put it down. And I thought it was just written so well. I ended up giving this book a 4 out of 5 stars because I really, really loved it, and I thought it was just so fun and so engaging. And I definitely recommend it, honestly, to anyone, especially women. But I love this book. You should give it a read. The Mad Wife by Megan Church. Very, very good. And then the final book I read in February was a fantasy romance, and it was The Wolf King by Lauren Pufferman. This is a book about humans and werewolves. They are at war with each other. Our female main character, she is a human. She is a princess. And the book starts off with a werewolf dog fight in which she ends up saving a wolf pup. This catches the attention of the alpha of the pack, who ends up kidnapping her, whisking her way to the werewolf world, where she learns a lot of things about werewolves and ends up fighting in an even bigger war. This book is single point of view and it's really, really, really good. There's a lot of politics in it. There's definitely a lot of spice in it. I'd say it's like 3 out of 5 for spice, and the writing, they definitely jump right into the storyline. Like, there's no hesitation, there's nothing like fluffy to lead you into it. They jump right into the storyline, and the writing is very succinct at first, so keep that in mind. I would say the first about 100 pages for this, I wasn't really, really interested, but then by about page 150, I was like, yeah, okay, and I became really hooked, and then I couldn't put it down, and I wanted to know what happened, and then I ended up reading book 2 after it, which is in March, so you'll see that in March, but I really, really enjoyed this book, and I thought it was really fun. I loved the world, I loved the romance, I loved the different characters we got, I loved the different clans we got, I loved that it was werewolves. I feel like that's a little bit of a different one for me. I don't always read werewolf fantasy books. I really enjoyed that. And yeah, Love Triangle, I feel like it definitely gives like a Court of Thorn and Roses Love Triangle vibes. So we'll see. I'm hoping that she picks the person I want her to pick, but I'm not sure if she's going to. It is going to be a trilogy. Book 3 is not out yet. It comes out in September, so just want to put that out there. But I really, really enjoyed this one, and I thought it was really good. I ended up rating it 4.25 out of 5 stars. I loved it. If you like romance, if you like fantasy books, definitely give it a try. And with that, those are the 9 books that I read in February. I read The Wolf King. I read my sticky note that says The Mad Wife. I read Fake Skating. I read We Who Will Die. I read 7-Year Itch, and I read Leather and Lark. It was a really good reading month, and I gave all the books decent ratings, 3 or higher. And 3 for me means good. Like, it was a good book. I enjoyed it. So that to me means I had a really good month because I literally, every single book was good or better. So I really enjoyed my reading in February. I would love to know what books you guys read in February, and if you had a favorite book, leave it in comments down below. And I hope you guys are going to have a fabulous reading month in March. Thank you guys so much for being here and watching this vlog, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Live well, read lots of good books, and go discover, my friends. Bye!